Risers, newcomers, and three powerhouses at the top that are holding their ground in the PBR Georgia Power 25. I'm Cory McCartney, joined by PBR Georgia Scouting Director Phil Kerber as we dive into the Week 2 rankings. And we'll be joined by the coach of a newcomer of the top 25, Marist Mike Strickland. Phil, how are you?
Doing well. I'm looking forward to diving into these rankings. It was a really busy week. We had great weather, so there were a ton of games played.
Yeah, Phil, the top three in your latest remain unchanged. How much of a stranglehold does it feel like Buford, Houston County, and Carrollton have on those top spots?
Yeah, I mean, it really feels like we're heading to a culmination in the state semifinals where potentially these three will meet each other. I mean, Buford looks like a train. They, played 2 games last week, shut out Shiloh, scored 19 runs. Dylan Lesko, ho-hum, throws a 5-inning no-hitter, just kind of going about their business, doing what they do. I think they've allowed 2 runs on the season. So that the pitching staff is just incredible. This week will be a real test for them, though, as they head to Hoover, and they'll take on PBR Alabama's 6A number 1 Hartzell and PBR Alabama 7A number 10 Thompson, and they'll have 2 opponents to be named. But, I mean, it's going to be tough to beat them. And the same goes for Houston County. They had a 3-1 week. They just faced Hartzell in a 2-game series, split with them. You can't hold that loss against them. They won 4-3, lost 4-3. Top team in Alabama. Houston County still firmly the number 2 team in state, given the in-state teams they've beaten. And then Carrollton haven't lost a game since 2019. They went undefeated before the shutdown last year. They've just come to the Georgia Dugout Club tournament these past 2 weekends, taking care of business. This weekend, things got, a little close for them. 10-inning game against Campbell, 3-2 win against Etowah. But, it shows you good teams know how to win games. And that's what they did. They won the games that they need to win. And they'll be heading to Hoover as well. And they'll be taking on PBR Alabama 6A number 2 Helena and Daphne, Alabama. And depending on how they do, could see a matchup against IMG, which that would be a tantalizing matchup for the number 3 team in state.
As we turn our attention to the Risers, North Oconee flexed its muscle. Some 4 wins last week included taking down a top 5 team in Stars Mill.
Yeah, I was on hand for that game against Stars Mill. I was number 7 North Oconee at the time versus number 4 Stars Mill. One of the first big time matchups in the state. You had Bubba Chandler versus Thad Ector, and North Oconee just came out swinging. Very first pitch of the game, they take the lead on a Bubba Chandler solo home run, and it was kind of just theirs from there. They were in control the entire game. It was a very impressive win. They got contributions from all over the lineup. We saw a lot of bullpen pieces from them, and it looks like a team that 4A could be theirs.
Moving up to number 9, Pope has 1 loss. I know you've been impressed. How tough of a test, though, will this next week be for the Greyhounds?
Yeah, they've got 4 games this week. It's going to be a busy week. I think they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we're going to see if they have a bullpen that can hold up to that type of those type of innings that they're going to need to put in. And they move up to number 9 after a really impressive weekend at the Georgia Dugout Club where they took down North Paulding, West Forsyth, and Cedartown. And, I think they're a team that's kind of hitting their stride now. They're scoring runs. I think they've got 37 runs during this 4-game win streak they're on, and their pitchers are only allowing 2 runs per game. So, that's a great recipe for success.
Finally, Grayson made the biggest leap in the rankings this week. What fueled that?
Yeah, Grayson had one of the most impressive weekends. They traveled down to Lowndes and they faced South Forsyth as well as Lowndes. And this was kind of a meeting of 3 teams that were on the bubble for me. And Grayson came away sweeping that entire weekend. They're 5-0 now. They have a win against number 18 Flowery Branch from earlier last week. They're putting together quality games. This week is definitely going to be a test for them as well as they're away at Hillgrove, who are another bubble team. And Hillgrove's got some good wins against ranked teams as well. And then they'll travel to number 23 Wesleyan on Saturday, and that should be one of the better matchups in the state.
Marist breaks in at number 15, and this is a crew that has put together some impressive wins to set at 6-1.
Yeah, ever since dropping their first game to Denmark 4-2, they've been on a roll. 6 straight wins, and what they did this past weekend, I think, was the most stood out the most to me. The Georgia Peach Tournament hosted by Parkview and Loganville always has a loaded field of teams, and it seemed like Marist got matched up with each of the top teams. They took down Jefferson 2-1, and they came back, beat Loganville, and then beat Parkview to take the tournament. I mean, those are three really strong programs throughout the state, and they, took care of business. Now this week we're going to see, what they're made of. They've got a 3-game set against number 11 Blessed Trinity, and we're very familiar with Blessed Trinity from the past 2 weekends, and they're going to bring it. So that's going to be a really, really interesting series.
And speaking of Marist, we are now joined by the coach of the War Eagles, Hall of Famer Mike Strickland. Coach, thanks for the time.
Guys, thank y'all so much for having me, and thanks so much for taking some time to recognize our team.
Coach, you guys are presently on a 6-game win streak. What's been the difference between game 1 and now game 7?
I think that confidence is playing a huge role in it. I also think that everybody has kind of started a little bit behind where they thought they were going to start. I know a lot of the guys that I've talked with, that we've played. Your program grows so much in the last month and a half of a spring season, and we didn't have that last year. So you might have thought you were starting at one point and then realized, hey, we missed all that time last year, so we're starting at a little bit of a different point. But I think confidence, I think kind of exhaling almost and saying, man, we're playing ball again. We're with our friends. We can exhale a little bit. Let's let it be more normal. Let's go play. Let's enjoy this.
Coach, Wofford commit Champ Davis has been raking 4 doubles, a homer, nearly 400 average. Now a junior. What maturity have you seen from him at the plate thus far?
I think that Champ is starting to understand and do a better job of knowing he doesn't have to take max effort swing every at bat. I think that he has really understood a lot about what it is to hit situationally. And, he's not chasing a swing. I think he's really confident in being himself at the plate and understanding that he can hit in a lot of different situations, whether it's up in the count or down in the count.
Coach, an impressive weekend at the Georgia Peach Tournament where you guys took down the likes of Jefferson, Loganville, Parkview. And going through the box scores, it looked like Tyler Hare was a big part of the offense for the weekend. What's it meant to have a senior like him on the team?
He has probably improved as much over the last 12 months as any player I've really ever had the opportunity to coach. He and I had a conversation today, as a matter of fact, earlier this morning. He has so much more confidence in his ability. And I think that's freeing him up to where, he's taking swings not to try and double to the pull side, but he's taken some swings to try and single into the off field to extend an inning. But still, he has the capacity to do some damage if he gets something that he can handle.
Coach, on the topic of seniors, you have a Georgetown-bound arm, and Andrew Williams struck out 7 against Mill Creek. What has worked so well for him from these early outings in the year?
I think that a lot of it for Andrew is just being able to get in a confident space where, hey, let's go and attack hitters. If the ball gets put in play, then let's trust our defense. But I think that he has really gotten comfortable trying to get in the zone early. He's pitched well on both halves of the plate, I think, which has freed him up a tremendous amount. But I think it's just being able to be in that mindset of, I'm going into the zone to get the ball put into play, and I'm going to trust my defense to make the play behind me.
Well, Coach, thanks for stopping by, and best of luck to you and Marist after the really hot start to the season.
Well, we hope we can keep it going, but once again, thank you guys so much for all y'all do for Georgia high school baseball and for everything that you're doing for us. Y'all take care, and thanks again.
Appreciate Coach Strickland joining us. For Phil Kerber, I'm Cory McCartney, and until next time, be sure you're following Phil Kerber PBR and PBR Georgia on Twitter for all of the latest Georgia Prep baseball coverage.